Hello, and welcome to the Keto Diet Summit. My name is Judith Kohlheim, and I'm the founder of Keto for the Soul on all social platforms. I want to start by saying thank you so much for having me. I know by now you've heard so many amazing conversations, so let's jump right in. The topic that I chose for today is transitioning your family to a low-carb ketogenic lifestyle. How many of you started this journey and your family was not on board? Raise your hand. Me, my family. So I started this journey August 2019 at 329 pounds. I was the heaviest and the most depressed, anxiety, thyroid issues, gut issues. I was just at my lowest point. And when I finally decided to give this diet lifestyle a go, I remember reaching out to my husband and saying, hey babe, we should try this keto diet. Because at the time, it was just a diet to me. We should try this diet. And I just remember him saying, Judy, let's see if you can even stick to this diet before you get anyone else involved in this house. At this point, I could completely understand why, because I had been on diets after diets after diets. Any diet it was, you name it, I probably did it. And so I remember just jumping right into it, thinking like, how dare him think that I'm not going to stick to this diet, even though I had a track record to prove that I couldn't stick to anything. So at this point, the very first thing that I started doing, which I would love you all to start doing, is I cleaned out our cabinets. When I tell you I cleaned out our cabinets, I cleaned house. Do you know that spring cleaning that we're supposed to do every year? I did that August 19th. And I remember throwing out just anything processed, anything that had ingredients that I couldn't understand. I didn't know how to even pronounce the words, and just literally wiped us out. And with that, I eliminated all of the sugar, the carby foods, the processed foods, and then I hit the fridge because the pantry is what really got emptied. But then the refrigerator, I left only whole nourishing foods. So whole nourishing to me is going to be your veggies, your fruits, we had some heavy cream, your eggs, your protein, things like that. So basically we cleaned house. We emptied that whole fridge and that whole pantry out. And so even though I was the one starting the lifestyle by myself, I remember thinking, they'll never know. They'll never know. Because after doing my research, I realized how easy and how simple it was to just live a whole foods lifestyle. So as Dr. Berry says, the proper human diet. And I started by first, we cleaned out the pantries. Second, we only allowed non-processed foods in our home. Now, keep in mind, I was the only one that was starting this lifestyle. But yet I was also the only one doing the grocery shopping. So I had full control and my family didn't even know it. So I suggest you take over. If you are not in charge of grocery shopping in your household, I suggest you take control of it. I promise you, they will love you and appreciate you for it later. So when we hit that grocery store up, we literally shopped the outer aisles. Yes, the outer aisles. And yes, there's plenty of food that you'll be able to eat, so don't you worry, and foods that your family will love also. So say we started in the produce section. Something that, I learned to do was you really had to kind of get in tune with what you did like and what you didn't like. So for my daughter, her favorite veggie was carrots and celery. So what do you think I did? I went and bought lots and lots of carrots and celery. My favorite food was avocados. I love celery. I love lettuce, as well as peppers and things. My husband, on the other hand, he loves all of the above, but he also loves spicy food. So like jalapenos, cabbage, collard greens, and we literally were able to enjoy our favorite food out of the produce section. Now, I know carrots are questionable when it comes to keto, but keep in mind we have a 6-year-old who is low carb. So although I was transitioning my family without necessarily them knowing, we still allow certain foods for our 6-year-old. So just wanted to put that out there. So after I hit the produce up, then I go to the meat section. The meat section for me is like heaven. So a food that my child likes is she loves shrimp. So why not get her some fresh shrimp? I love ground beef and hamburger. My husband loves steaks and chicken. And guess what, guys? We can have all of the above. Now, there are a few foods that I tried to slip in there that maybe didn't work out as well in the beginning, but now that we're almost 3 years in and our household has changed our way of eating, we are now adding in liver. You know, a lot of my really, really good friends in this keto community, they swear by liver. And since I've learned so much about it, I thought, you know what, let's just sneak that in. So now we're adding in extra foods that we never would have purchased before we tried this lifestyle. So we've hit the produce, we've hit up the meat section. Now we're going over to the dairy. One thing I didn't know before transitioning into this lifestyle for myself as well as my family was that shredded cheese has so many extra fillers and starches and things, so we don't buy pre-shredded. That is just a simple way to avoid those extra unnecessary things that we put in our body. What I was most amazed about of this is that my husband did know that shredded cheese had extra fillers. In his household, they never purchased shredded cheese from the store or packaged shredded cheese. I was like, you knew this and we've been eating shredded cheese all these years? I always wondered why his mom always had the block of cheese and shredded it, and I couldn't never figure it out. But that was something that he taught me, as well as, you know, just learning after digging into the research. So with that dairy section, we are now buying the maybe block cheeses. My favorite block cheese is going to be Parmesan cheese that we've got a little grater, as well as sharp cheddar, and we're trying some smoked Gouda now. So we are experimenting. We're up in our cheese game. We're buying cheese by the blocks now versus pre-shredded. So easy, simple changes. We still get the cheese we love. We just got to eliminate the pre-shredded. So we're moving on through the grocery store. Of course, we've got to get some eggs. Eggs go with everything. I promise you. Get you the big old crate of eggs. I can't even think. It's like 3 dozen. Get you the big old 3 dozen crate of eggs. Then we're moving on next to the dairy. My favorite thing that our house really loves is cream cheese, sour cream. What about that cream cheese is a really good extra, fat to add if you're making jalapeno poppers. I like to put some cream cheese, stuffed jalapeno poppers. Cream cheese, we kind of add it here and there in different foods. So moving on through, we're getting our heavy cream, and that's about it for us. Now, we do occasionally buy, say, an almond milk, but my family, I've completely eliminated them from milk. Milk is no longer something that we purchase from the grocery store, and that was something in the beginning that I just quit buying milk, because after learning about all the extra sugars and extra things that go into it, I'm like, I don't know. I just couldn't feel comfortable anymore with it. So, eliminated the milk. Now, if you go on through the freezer section, you will see all the frozen veggies. You can buy more frozen veggies. They even have, I'm trying to think, frozen veggies, cauliflower rice, whatever it is you want to buy. Get it. The main thing that you want to realize and learn is that we no longer want to buy all those foods from the middle section that are very questionable. They're not only questionable because maybe the canned packaging that they come in, or the aluminum, but also because they have those extra sugars and those extra carbs and those extra ingredients that we can't pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, it's probably not good. I read that in a book several years ago. I should have known. So, okay, we started with hitting up the grocery store. Now, when we would basically come together and my family would say, what do we want for dinner tonight? My husband might say, I want lasagna. I want spaghetti. Who that's listening here is a huge pizza connoisseur? Me. I am the biggest pizza connoisseur out there. So I had to take our favorite recipes and learn how to switch out those ingredients. So although I was making pizza, I was no longer using flour, which brings up a good point of almond flour is a very good alternative. Almond flour. Buy that too. But seriously, I was able to switch out all the bad ingredients in our favorite recipes and still create the same type of foods that we loved in our household. And that also made it very easy for the family to just get on board. Because when they were able to still eat the same foods that they love with these healthier ingredients and still enjoy the flavor, why not, right? Why not? So I know a lot of you might be saying, well, my kids are the pickiest eaters and my husband is the pickiest eaters. But I tell you, slowly but surely transition them. Work away from those foods that you just don't think and you know in your heart are no longer good for you, because why would you want your family to eat it if you won't eat it, right? That's another way to also look at it. That was a complete new perspective I had on life overall. Why would I feed my 6-year-old a Happy Meal from McDonald's with all the stuff that I wouldn't eat and then eat the healthy food over here? I know I'm not the only one who, our children and our husbands and our wives and our family and our parents and whoever it is, if you're a caretaker, whatever, they are our world. We want them to be able to thrive. And even though they may not be on board with this lifestyle, we've got to help them see the way, see the light in the tunnel, transition them. So, okay, next point that I want to point out is I want you to remember that this is a marathon. That is probably my favorite thing to say. This is a marathon, not a race. So we're going to take these steps, step by step, day by day, month by month, week by week, year by year, because this is a journey. This is your journey. This is very important. And even though our family may not know how important this lifestyle may be to us, we know. And so it's our duty. When you know better, you do better, right? So I wanted to point that out. I also wanted to point out that if you just keep your recipes very simple, it'll make life a lot easier. So I'll pick a protein, a fat, a healthy fat, and a carb for a meal. Those 3 things. So protein, I'll pick chicken. We'll have chicken. You can make that chicken however you want, but we're going to keep those extra sugars and those extra bad ingredients away from our food. Fat. Healthy fat. What if I cook that delicious chicken in some butter? Or what if I cook that chicken and then I pair it with an avocado? Delicious. That's probably my favorite thing. And we're going to add some carbs. Now, we still are eating carbs, right? We still have to eat carbs. Well, we don't have to, but So my favorite go-to carb is collard greens. You heard that right. A vegetable. We are having our vegetables be our carbs, and we are no longer eating those bad processed carbs. We are turning them into like a whole foods approach. So we've got the chicken, the avocado, or cooked in butter, or cooked in olive oil, or whatever it may be. And then we're pairing it with, maybe you like collard greens. I've learned that's my favorite food. Along with pizza. But another healthy carb that I love is just like cabbage, or if you want to add a salad, or if you want to add zucchini or spaghetti squash or whatever it is, do that. Change your carbs from processed carbs to healthier carbs. Next thing, your water intake. So we are going to slowly but surely, we're going to eliminate all those bad drinks that we keep in our house. The pop, yes, I said pop. I'm from the Midwest. The pop, the Gatorades filled with sugar. We're going to eliminate all those extra drinks. We don't want those anymore. We want to drink water. And guess what? You're in control of the shopping now. So you are in control of what your family drinks for the most part. Now, granted, I understand the husband walks in with the Gatorade or the husband walks in with the pop. But for my child, she's not drinking anything that's not already in the house. So mom win. But on a serious note, we're going to increase our water intake. Now we're only going to we're going to drink filtered water from our refrigerator. If you have to, buy your bottled water. If you have to, get your families those jugs and figure out what it is that your family enjoys drinking that doesn't have all those extra ingredients, right? And so we're also going to, as we're doing all this and we're transitioning, we're going to replenish our electrolytes, because now we are no longer adding in all the bull crap that we used to have. And our family is like, whoa, what's going on in our body? It's crazy. And so we're going to replenish our electrolytes. So we're going to add some Himalayan salt, maybe a little extra here and there to our food, as well as maybe you have an electrolyte supplement that you like to add to your drinks. Do that. Go ahead and do that. And then, okay, here's another point that I want to just point out before we close out. So although your family may not be 100% keto, Chef Michael says this all the time. If we could just start one meal at a time, replacing them with those healthier ingredients, eliminating all those bad stuff, one meal at a time, we're doing something right. We're doing something right. So even if you say, man, my husband eats like crap when he's not at home. Well, guess what? When he gets home and he eats that meal every night for dinner, he's going to eat something better than he maybe would have before. So it's still a win. It's still a win. Or our child eats crappy when they go to their grandmother's house. Well, guess what? That may be 1 or 2 or 3 days out of the month or the year or the week or whatever it may be for your family. If we could slowly eliminate those bad meals, we're in the right direction. And that is the whole point of all this and transitioning. We are moving to the right direction. We want to get our family on track. We want to do better because we know better. And y'all, it's okay. It is okay. You may not be the favorite person in the house when you start transitioning in the beginning, but I promise you, you're in control. It's either a dad win, a mom win, a husband win, a wife win, a spouse win, whatever you want to call it, it's a win. And we are taking each day, step by step, one meal at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time. And next thing you know, we may be able to transition our families 100%. And that's the ultimate goal, right? But I just want to say thank you so much again for having me. I know this is a quick conversation, but I'm just so honored to always be a part of these amazing events. Keep an eye out for what I've got going on. I am the co-host this year of the Keto Orlando Summit in Orlando, Florida. Also the founder of Keto Friendsgiving. You guys, we've got to stay on top of sharing this lifestyle. If we could touch one person day by day, the domino effect, we've got to keep going. We've got to keep sharing. So I am just so grateful that you have taken the time to be here today. You're here for a reason, whether it's to change your life or your family's life or whatever it may be. Keep moving in the right direction, and I promise you, things should get better. Again, follow me on all social media, Keto for the Soul. If you're not a member of this amazing community, why not? What are you waiting on? But guys, I love you so much, and thank you so much. This is Judith, and I'm done speaking.